Welcome back to the tutorial course on Android app development. In this lecture, we will discuss views. The user interface elements in an Android app are built using a view and view group objects. When we need to create a user interface on a device screen, we use views. Using the view class, a view object is derived. The Android system provides a componentized model for building the UI for an app. This model is based on the two layout classes, view and view group. There are a number of pre-built view and view group subclasses, which are known as widgets and layouts. We can use them to construct the app UI. View is the base class for widgets, which we can use to create UI components, such as buttons and text view. In case we do not want to use the pre-built components, we can create our own components using the view subclass. On the next slide, we will learn some of the commonly used view components. The following are some of the UI components: text view, edit text, button. Let's discuss each one of them on the subsequent slides. Text view displays a text to the user. The default implementation of the text view component does not support editing. If we need to allow text editing, we have to call edit text that supports editing. Now, we can create text view in our app. In Android Studio, open the settings fragment.java class in Weather app. In the settings fragment class, we have the onCreateView method, which provides the view for the settings screen. The fragment settings layout is used for creating the settings screen. We can now create a text view in the fragment settings.xml that is under res/layout/directory. While creating the settings fragment, a text view is added by default. We will remove the default text view and create a new one. When we add a text view, we need to add the default attribute values, such as the layout width and layout height. We can get the default available options for a specific attribute by pressing the Control Space shortcut. Note that we've defined layout width and layout width with the match parent size values. When you define the size values as match parent, the views do not rely on the specific screen sizes and dimensions. Instead, the views either use only the space required or expand to fill the available space. Next, let's see the text as settings for the view. We can either center align the text using the gravity attribute in Android Studio or programmatically set these attributes. Now, we will programmatically change the color of that text view text. For accessing any element from the code, we need to mention the ID of the view object. We first set text view as title text. Now go to the settings fragment class and create a view object for text view. We then create a text view object called text view. Now we will access a text view object from the fragment settings layout by the findView BYID method and casting this view to a text view widget. We can set the color by the setTextColor method and give the color from the available colors on resources. If we need to set any custom color, we can give the color value an XML file called colors.xml under res/values/colors.xml and mention that value over here. Similarly, we can set the different parameters of the text view. Next, we will discuss the edit text view component. Edit text is a thin layer over text view that configures itself to be editable. Now we can create edit text to enter our city name. When we add an edit text view inside our new layout, we need to add values for the default attributes. Then, we need to define layout width as fill parent and height as 80dp. We need to add the ID attribute as edit text val to programmatically access the edit text value. For the layout below attribute, we add title text and give a top margin as 20 dp and layout margin top. Finally, we add a hint enter city and add 20 dp for the padding left attribute. This will give a padding space at the left side of the control. We will now run the application to see the views that we have defined. The title text and edit text are shown in the settings screen. When we click the edit text, it asks for the value and allows us to enter our data. Let's now learn the new view component, which is button. A button consists of text, an icon, or both text and an icon. It communicates the action that will occur when the user touches or presses it. Following are the three types of buttons that we can create in a layout. Button, image button, button with text and icon. On the next slide, we will continue discussing the button view component. The first set of code depicts a button with text. The second set of code depicts an image button. In this button, there is no text but an image. The third set of code depicts a button with an image and text. Now, we can create a button element. On the following slide, we will learn how to create a button. Let's now create a button element in the settings screen. We will define its width as 130 dp and height as 50 dp. It is important to note that even though we are providing the values, we should add these values in the dimens.xml file that is located in the res/values/directory. These values are then assessed from the dimens.xml. First, we need to add an ID attribute to programmatically access the code. We will add the value as enter btn. There are more attributes that we can define. We will assign the title enter to the text attribute. Finally, we can implement a click event for the enter button, which, when clicked, will show the entered city as a toast message on the screen. Let's now consider the next slide on Event Listener. First, we will create an object of a button with the name EnterBTN in the setting fragment class. We will then access the button instance from the setting layout. Casting that view element to button type. Then, we add the onClickListener method for this button. When we click this button, we will get the control on the onClick function. To show the city name as a toast, we create an object for our edit text for accessing the edit text value. We then create an edit text object and access it from the layout. Now, when a user clicks the enter button, the entered city name will be shown as a toast message to the user. Let's add a toast with the method toast.makeText, and in that method, we will access the value of the edit text to show the toast message. This is the edit text value. Finally, we run the application on a device. The settings screen is launched, and it shows the settings title, edit text, and button elements. Now enter any value in the city name and click the button. When we click the button, the city name value is shown as a toast message. This brings us to the end of our discussion on views.